Good evening, everybody, or afternoon, or morning. I'm Amber.
And I'm Maddie.
And we're Witches Talking Tarot. And today, we are doing part 1 of our Hallowed Earth theory episodes. It's our first 2-part episode, so super excited for that. We have chosen to break it out into 2 separate functionalities. Obviously, it's 2 episodes because it's 2-parter. But, like, the first episode, we're going to cover just what Hallowed Earth theory is, who brought it about to our consciousness, and how it relates to the religions that we know and hold dear today.
Yes.
And then all that crazy shit will be on Thursday.
Yes, we're going to get into conspiracy theories on Thursday. I'm very excited.
And the fun stories of people that claim to have gone inside the Hallowed Earth.
Right. I'm very excited for that.
Yes.
I think I told you I misspelled on my notes Hallowed Earth. It's Hallow.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, with hallowed ground.
Right. I'm like, does that fit?
Yeah, I know. Like, I mean, we'll see how all this stuff plays into
the
each other.
Hallowed Earth. Let me put that as a title. I accidentally put the Hallowed Earth. That's the title.
It works for the first one.
I mean, it doesn't have to be. I just thought that. So, introduction into the Hallowed Earth.
Yeah. So the first theory is where we live today, right?
Right, yes.
Yeah. So do you guys know what we're about to say? Because it's fucking nuts.
It is. It's crazy. It's crazy.
It's concave. Hollow. You got me saying that. It's concave Hallowed Earth theory.
Yes.
Which is like we are inside a shell.
We are in the
Hallowed Earth. Like us. You guys listening, us
what
talking.
What if there's dinosaurs
Maddie
up top?
And myself. Oh my God. I want to be outside. I want to live on the surface world now.
Right. It's like the simulation theory.
Right. Is it just like you never get to be near the dinosaurs? Like if because in the Hallowed Earth theory, the dinosaurs on the inside.
Right.
So if you're right and we're in the Hallowed Earth,
the dinosaurs are on the outside. They're
so out of reach for Amber.
But wait, what if the Earth is a shell? I'm sorry, I don't mean to get off on this, guys.
Yes.
The Earth is a shell or an egg that aliens put us in. And that's how we got in the center of the Earth. I mean, it makes no fucking sense, though. Like, that makes sense.
Well, like, okay, so one thing I read about the concave Hallowed Earth theory, it really is for people, funnily enough, people like me, except I don't believe this, guys. Like this, I don't believe in this theory, like as a personal like belief system. But people who are afraid of like how big space really is, and I know I'm one of those people because like I read this book called like I don't fucking remember, but it's like. It was everything about, like, science and earthiness up until, like, people came about. Mm-hmm. And then the next book that the guy does is, like, people and them making weapons and war and all this other shit. Right? So, like, in this, it starts with, like, the cosmos and shit. And it talks about how tiny we are in relative space compared to everything else around us, right? Like us as humans, how tiny and insignificant we are on this big planet that we live in this solar system that we're a part of, and in the universe that's a part of everything else, right? And it's so big, and you feel so tiny. And then it goes into like this thing about atoms and how like I'm not sitting in this chair. My atoms are pushing against the atoms of the chair, and there's this fine layer of nothingness between us.
Right,
fucking freaks me out. Freaks me out. So when they say that the concave Hallowed Earth people think that we're inside the ball because it's easier for them to exist inside a ball instead of on the top of a ball that's in the middle of all this big shit, I understand that.
I absolutely do, because I don't know if it's because I'm a human, sometimes like humans can't comprehend certain things. I can't comprehend the fact that and I'm not saying it doesn't exist, okay? I absolutely know it exists, but I personally cannot comprehend the fact that space is never ending. What do you mean it's never ending?
Oh, God. That's what freaks me out. Like, it gives me vertigo. Like, I know I say this a lot.
It's
guys.
like the opposite of claustrophobia.
Yeah, it's so
What is that? I know there's a title. There's a name for it.
I don't.
What is the opposite of claustrophobia? It's something phobia. I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
I know for a fact I have it because I'll drive up and down the highway or something and there'll just be fields on either side because, we live in the we don't live in the Great Plains, but pretty damn close.
Close, right, yeah. You can drive through fields of corn and grain.
Yes. Forever. And so you see it and it's just like, I do get claustrophobia because the fields, it's just so wide open. Exactly. Yeah. So imagine thinking of space.
To me, that makes sense as a human, right? Because back in the day, exactly. There's nowhere to hide in a big open space. So then you go, where's my safety? Now, in reality, you're inside a car or
yeah. But that's like lizard brain,
but
like you call it, or the evolutionary part of our brain.
Exactly. So that makes sense.
Maybe it's similar.
Such a phobia. But yeah, like maybe it stems from that feeling of the wide open. But I don't know, like concave Earth theory, hollow Earth theory. I don't truck with it. I don't think that this is the Truman Show. That sky above is not, a solid thing or a screen against, the top of the ball.
Yeah. I mean, it's cozy. It's cozy. I like the theory. It's very comfortable. Now that you say it that way.
It's cozy, but then, like, where is that ball? Is it because Atlas is holding us on his shoulders and that way we can't see Atlas because we're inside the ball? But otherwise...
Oh, Amory, sold. That makes so much sense.
Because otherwise I go, what's the ball in? Like, is it in that never-ending space? Well, like, we are Earth. We're in the ball, right?
Yeah.
So where does that exist, right? Like, because this thing has a stand. And but otherwise there's all this space around it. So is it just like empty space around? Or is there like stuff going on where asteroids can puncture the Earth shell that we live inside?
Oh, I absolutely believe that they can. Not that we live in them, right, but I definitely think
you know what? So if hollow, like, then I really dislike concave hollow Earth theory because, like, if it's no longer a safe shell, now it's a breakable shell that the crazy shit could hit, and you can't even see it coming. The concave Earth theory is that your universe is inside.
Oh, okay, that's what I was going to say. We can see the universe. So is that inside? That's inside?
Yeah, it's inside.
So
that's the concave Earth
So
theory.
the blue ball that we know.
So what's outside this? Like, if this was the hollow Earth, right? If we were living inside this right now, the moon would be inside this ball, right?
Mars, Venus.
Everything you can see outside would be inside this. But what's outside of it if this contains everything we know to be reality? What's outside of it?
Maybe.
That freaks me out.
Oh my God.
Unless, Atlas holding it. I mean, that's cool.
Okay, I'm not going to lie. Like, this is starting to make sense.
That's what I told Corey. Like, it's kind of compelling. And he's like, they're all going to be kind of compelling.
Bryson's like, no, you're not a concave Earth theorist. No, just
My
stop.
daughter tweeted that I was a hollow Earther, guys. Right, because I was researching for this episode. And I was like...
No, okay. Offended. I'd be more offended if they said you're a flat earther. Oh my God.
I would have straight up called her out, but instead I said, "Excuse me," in perfect 90s.
I am not a hollow earther / Yes. I don't know. Concave is kind of making... I mean, I'm not saying I believe it. I'm not saying... Because I don't. Right. Guys, please don't.
But from a Hellenic perspective, with Atlas holding the world on his shoulders...
It makes sense.
It does make sense.
But so does flat earth, because with Atlas holding this...
Well,
he could be like...
with Atlas holding the world...
It would be beautiful, though. You gotta admit, the god holding it up and then the water flowing.
Okay, it would be beautiful, but how's the water getting back up if Atlas is holding it and it's going down? You know what I mean? And it's flat. But if it's round and he's holding it, then it doesn't matter.
Okay, I'm not a flat earther, so I
know.
You got me there. Like, right. You sold me on the concave, now I'm like, flat earth is just... it's just not making any more sense.
Excuse me.
So then we've got the regular just hollow earth, which is we're not inside. There's something else inside, similar to, I'm sure you guys know from pop culture, Journey to the Center of the Earth. Right. Huge fan.
Yes. The first hollow earth that we get from Mr. Halley's Comet, that guy, he thought there were multiple layers. He thought there were like multiple, and then everything
like
after
hell,
that.
Like 7 layers of hell almost.
Right. Well, 4 technically, but
4 layers.
Yeah, but like multiple layers, like we have in Underworld theories, which we'll get to later this episode. But, like, his was 4. So it's, like, a ball, and then another ball, and then another ball, and then the earth we live on the outer layer.
So what if those are the dimensions? You get what I'm saying? There's 4 dimensions. We're in well, that one makes sense, because aren't we in the 3rd dimension? What's in the 4th dimension? Atlantis, we'll get to that at a later time.
We're in the 3rd dimension, so the 4th dimension is dinosaurs.
That would be the dinosaurs, right? That makes so much sense.
I love that.
Oh my God, Amber, it's making sense.
It's so compelling, guys. But after Halley's Comet guy, John Sims Jr. brings us the Hollow Earth theory, where we've got the openings.
Yes, at the North Pole and the South Pole, correct? Yes. So it's basically like there's a huge fucking hole right in the middle of the Earth. Now, maybe I'm going to sound stupid here. What if you fell in? Right, with gravity, right?
Yeah. If you fell in, but you can't fall in per what you can... Per Hollow Earth theory,
yes,
most of them, that's like big storm shit happens up at both of the entrances, right? So, like, it's really amazing if you actually get through and survive.
Oh my God.
Because, like, the way...
Maybe there's sea monsters blocking it. In a not in a serious way. I mean, in a serious way, not in a shitty way.
No, I like that. I like that a lot.
The Bermuda Triangle type shit, like.
Right? But like, so in the map, so like there was this crazy ass shit, like historically crazy shit about Hollow Earth. Like some cartographer back in like the 1500s or some shit claims they wrote a book where they went to Hollow Earth and they like made a map of like the entrance to Hollow Earth, and like so basically it's like. It's there's stones that are formed in a way where there's only 4 ways, like there's a north, south, and east and west entrance.
Like Indiana Jones type shit, dude. Like, you know what I'm talking about with the stones?
Yes, right? But like picture in the middle of the ocean, right? So like big glacier-sized stones. And there's only like a little bit of space in between. So like for ships to get through and not crash is almost amazing. And everything that I've read about it, usually there's like winter stormy shit going on because it's at the extreme north and south poles.
Not to keep bringing up pop culture. No, but in my mind, I'm like, you know how like in Pirates of the Caribbean 3, they had to go to the fucking...
I didn't see 3.
Oh, well,
is that Davy Jones's...
Yeah, they have to go to Davy Jones's locker to save fucking Captain Jack because he died. Yeah, and so they have to like flip their boat upside down, and they have to go through all this treacherous shit. Yeah, I wonder if it's similar. You know what I mean?
Well, because I mean, whether it's as above, Earth so or below. The Underworld, but yes, exactly.
As above, so below. Oh my God!
I know. I thought about that a lot when I was reading.
Yeah,
because like. In the Hollow Earth theory where there's like the 2, one at each end of the pole, it seems like once you cross, gravity pulls you, and so it's like you're along the insides, right, of the world.
So it's like gravity's different?
Right, I guess.
Excuse me, guys.
Well, and gravity is different, I guess, because like the one thing that I told you, I was getting caught up in that one story last night about Olaf Jansen, which is covered in next episode, guys.
Yes.
He mentions about the compass and like
they're Pirates of the Caribbean shit. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about.
I vaguely do because I've seen that one. Because
he's got his compass and it's like
yes, exactly. Well, and it was steadily pointing north even when they were no longer headed north per what they should have been for how long they'd been going. It just kept pointing north.
I want to see a movie about this shit, if I'm being honest with you.
They need to make a movie,
or at least a skit, because I'm like seeing some pretty epic shit.
Oh, wait until next episode. It's going to be great.
I know it is. I'm so excited to talk about that part.
Yeah, I know.
So then we've got who else?
Well, no, it was just
were we going to mention Cliff or was that Clough or was that next?
Well, Clough is he is the current proponent.
Yeah, so there's a current theorist, and it's a very small. Unfortunately, it's not in the millions. From what I read, there's only a couple thousand.
I know.
Yeah, like
grown to a couple thousand.
Well, you may have grown by 1. I don't know, or maybe a couple after they watch
the thing about
this.
Clough is he with his hot book. He pulls he pulls in the Nazis, he pulls in the Vikings, he pulls in
crazy.
Everything. the aliens, like, to him, like, he puts everything in the Hallowed Earth. It could be
anything. Or is it like,
well, no, I mean, like, from what I understand, it's like, he says it's everything. I don't know. He doesn't pick one and say, this is what's there. He says, like, these people and the ancient, the Israelites.
Wait, he said they're, like, in different tribes, almost, yes.
Yeah, and it's like, okay.
So this guy, Clough, that's his last name. Then. Right, right? There's this guy, Clough, that's his last name, can't remember his first. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so he's, like, a huge part of the Hollow Earth theory. He spent, like, $20,000, him and 3 other people spent $20,000 to come up with a voyage.
3 other people.
I don't know. I kind of believe it. Like,
I kind of believe that he made it up.
Like, and they had this ship, and they were going to go to the North Pole, and if they couldn't make it to the North Pole, they were going to end up going to, like, South America or some shit. Somewhere.
Right.
You know?
To look for entrances to Hollywood.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Different areas. But unfortunately, before they could go, one guy died from brain cancer. Another guy's plane crashed into a mountain, and the other guy withdrew because he owned a very successful company, and his investor said, this is ridiculous. If you try and prove a Hollow Earth, we're not going to give you any more money. We're going to cut your funding. Now, there's 2 ways. Amber doesn't believe they existed, but my first thought is, not to sound like Dale Gribble, but the fucking government stopped. I mean,
how'd they give him brain cancer?
Cell phone, like, we're so.
All right, guys,
we really want to get
your cell phone down.
We really want to get into that one, Amber. I mean, they could have injected him. For all we know.
But, like, here's my thing.
I sound so crazy this episode.
Everything that was read, what you sent me, and the articles that I read that mentioned Clough, it's Clough says this and Clough says that.
Yeah.
I think Clough made this shit up. I think he, like, wanted to sell his book. And I think that he wants people to get onto his theory. And I don't blame him for that. But I think he was just very clever. And he said that he had these investors. And then, like, oh, no, they died. They had to pull out. We can't do the expedition. But then he got a lot of people interested. And now he sold a lot more books. And now you told me he's planning another.
Yeah, he's planning another one.
But now he's probably got, like, a bunch more funding.
But he needs more people to come along because, as he says, he's an author, not an adventurer. Right, which sounds like a good-ass fucking movie. First of all, I have seen
that movie.
I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. It's like, oh shit, what's it called? I love it. Romancing the Stone.
Oh,
you
I love Romancing the Stone.
You can be an author and an adventurer if you want to, but it sounds very much Journey to the Center of the Earth with
Yeah, no, I was that's what I was thinking because the dude's got his nephew that's the writer.
Right, he's like it sounds very I want to be the main character where he's got his little like notebook and he's taking notes, and then you've got The Rock and he's like, we're going this way, and he's like, you know what I mean? So, but it turns out The Rock is evil because he actually wants to take all the fucking credit and he wants all the riches in the Hollow Earth. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just going with this, but I could see that we got like a Clayton type thing from Tarzan.
Like I tried to find the oh my god, Encino Man.
I love Encino Man.
What's his name? Brendan Fraser. I tried to find the Brendan Fraser.
I like that version. I do.
Journey to the Center of the Earth. Turns out the Ricky Schroeder version and the Brendan Fraser one are made in the same year, or at least released in the same year.
Really?
I know. Because I thought I'd found
Brendan Fraser one was really big, so the other one
it was not. It was not very good.
Was it lame?
It was lame. It was pretty rough.
I love Journey to the Center of the Earth.
But yeah, I wanted to watch it because I knew that like you love that movie, so I wanted to like be more familiar. I've seen it like maybe once back when it came out. I don't remember that movie at all. But I did in my journey for the Journey to the Center of the Earth. I found the one I watched as a kid in the 90s.
Oh, the 90s one?
It's god awful. There's a white monster guy.
Oh my god, it's priceless. But I love the giant mushrooms. I love
Corey and I like made fun of it so bad.
Oh
it was so awful. No, it's awful. It's bad.
It
it's
is.
Really
is it when was it made?
In the 90s.
The
I don't
90s.
remember exactly.
Well, there's one made in like the 70s
94-ish.
or the 60s.
Yeah, I didn't watch that one. Because like I'd already struggled through the 2008 one with Ricky Schroeder twice. Because I got like most of the way through, and then Tubby, I had to turn it off because I had to go do errands. So I came back and I tried to watch it again because I looked it up and Brendan Fraser's came out in 2008. So I thought like the Ricky Schroeder piece, like we were just getting to the part where Brendan Fraser joins us. We never got there. We never fucking got there. So I went and I looked it up again, and they're two completely different movies. And I was so annoyed.
Right, I would be I'd be like, really?
Right. And so, like, I tried again to find the Brendan Fraser one. Couldn't. I, like, started texting my brother and my daughter, and I was like, hey, do you have a Disney Plus? Like, I just want to watch this one movie. And my brother was like, no, I don't, but I would give you the login if I did, because, like, he uses my Hulu and my Amazon. So, you know, I was like, hitch a sister back. Seriously. But he didn't. He's like, I'd give it to you if I did. And I was like, that's cool, but I refuse to give Disney any money, so I guess I'm just not watching this movie, which he thought was hilarious.
I don't think it's on Disney. I don't know if it's
when I googled it, it's a Disney Plus or Amazon with a premium subscription.
I'm gonna have to watch it then.
Yeah,
because like I don't have Disney Plus. I borrow Disney Plus, right? Yeah. So, and I love that movie. Yeah. I do and I love I do love the idea of Hollow Earth with the giant mushrooms the size of trees.
Well, see, like for me, that doesn't necessarily need to be a Hollow Earth thing.
No, it's like a mysterious island. Yeah, exactly.
Shit. Because like I grew up on a Willy Wonka version of Talks to Animals Doctor Dolittle with Gene Wilder.
I have never seen that. I've only seen the one with the one guy in it. Who is it? Eddie Murphy.
God. Yeah, it's Eddie Murphy.
There's a new one with Robert Downey Jr. I want to see. It's based on a book written in like the 1800s. Yeah.
But like, so for me, like all of that stuff could exist on our surface world, because in the Gene Wilder version, there's this giant snail and he's so fucking cute. And I don't know what else, but he talks to all the animals and they're really like fantastical and they're like on an island or
okay, was Dr. Dolittle real though? Because like I'm seeing a bunch of shit about him like lately. I don't know. Not to get on that topic.
Wait a minute. Why do I feel like oh, never mind. That was Velas. I was just listening to earlier because we're going to talk about the Underworld. So I was like, I want to know more about the Slavic underworld culture, you know, whatever. And so I was listening to this podcast about Velas. It's a Mytho-Slavic, and she does Slavic mythology, and her voice is amazing. She has like one of those like very Eastern European accents, and her name is Carmen, and I love listening to her, and she's very informative. And in the Velas episode, she talks about how he talks to animals and saves animals, and he's like the patron of animals, which is why after Christianity took over, he got connected with Saint Nicholas, who somehow is a patron saint of animals. I don't know enough.
Really?
Yeah, I mean that's what it was saying. I don't know. Or maybe it was he's connected with Saint Nicholas and some other saint who's a patron saint of animals. I'm not sure.
I want to say Saint Joseph, but I think I'm wrong. I know. I just know them because I see them everywhere in town. People have statues of the patron saint of animals, and I don't know. I can't remember off the top of my mind.
Yeah, but like, so whereas I was in my head going, I just listened to something about a guy that talks to animals. It was a god, not a guy. A god. The horned god. Velas is the horned god in the Slavic pantheon, which I learned today when I was listening, which, if you know from our conversations in the past, I follow Pan, the horned god. So I was like, oh, how perfect.
Right, that's awesome.
Because he's the god of the underworld and the god of the waters. Which I love. But
we got like Eliza Thornberry talks to animals too.
She does. I loved her. She was the best. Like, I love that Eliza Thornberry, she was in my childhood, and then my kids watched the Thornberries.
Absolutely.
And so like it's one of those things.
Well, and the movie when she's like, I know these things because I can talk to animals, and I was like, oh my god, she told everybody. And the point is,
if you can talk to animals, don't tell people or you lose your power.
Right. Or you can tell me. Yeah. Because like, I've tried many a times.
Yeah, but wasn't Eliza's thing once she told she lost her power?
Yes, she did. She did. Yeah, it was good. But I'm not going to pretend like I haven't seen my cat there. Like, you can talk to me if you want. I won't tell anybody. And then they just blink at you and they're like, okay.
I'm going to take that as a sign. Yes, let me know if my cat needs anything.
Okay, anyway, we're moving on to the Underworld adaptation.
Yeah, so yeah, because like Hollow Earth is not as familiar to us, or is not as unfamiliar to all of us as we think, because all of Underworld.
Right, so basically,
so much Underworld theory.
Basically, Hollow Earth is a world inside a world, and what does that sound like? Well, we have the Underworld in Greek mythology. Mm-hmm. Woohoo! Shout out to Hades.
Right. Like, yeah, Veles in the Slavic pantheon. Yes, and we've got so many other like
Latino
Christian
cultures. Yeah, you know, Christian.
I mean, we've got hell.
Absolutely.
Dante was one of the first ones to write about it, and he was one of the first people to write about there being layers within the earth.
So there are people I remember this one book. I hear it's horrifying.
Layers of, things that people do within the earth.
I hear it's horrifying. Can't remember what it's called. Maybe it's like 48 hours. I don't know, some shit like that. Man falls asleep, or maybe it's 3 minutes, falls asleep, wakes up in hell, and he's in hell for what seems like an eternity, but he wakes up and it's only 3 minutes. Would that count as a Hollow Earth experience? Or a psychotic episode? Like, I mean, is that a Hollow Earth experience?
That made my head hurt. So he goes to sleep alive.
Yes.
He presumably dies in his sleep and goes to hell?
No, he visits hell because God said, tell everyone how horrible a place this is. And he's in hell for like 3 minutes. I think it's called 3 minutes. Or maybe it's 6 minutes. Point is, before he fell asleep, he looked at the clock. He woke up and it felt like an eternity, but it was 3 or 6 minutes later. So my question is, was that a Hollow Earth experience or what? Or was that a really bad dream? I think it may have been a really bad dream.
Right? Like, I mean, what are we doing in this movie before God comes to him and tells him?
I have no idea. I think he said that he was like a sinner, so guess it could be guilty conscience, maybe? I don't know.
Okay. Because, like, I am predisposed to think that it is a mental thing more than a physical thing.
You slipped into the...
Granted.
Right.
I do believe that you can astral project into the underworld. 1,000,000%.
Oh, absolutely. Definitely.
Sorry, guys.
Definitely.
I'm not crazy.
Oh, absolutely. I fucking believe it. There's a weird meditation you can do that I don't recommend. It's scary.
I've never, under duress. But anyway, I would think that, I guess that's possible, but can you do it accidentally, or can God force you to?
I think God can force you to.
But that would be
if God is all powerful.
Versus, like, a Hollow Earth thing where he actually went into hell. That's my thought.
So could Hollow Earth theory, it's like, just because we're talking about like underworld adaptations and spiritual adaptations, what if it's a transcendent type thing and he can transcend, or anybody can transcend into the Hollow Earth? Does that make sense?
It does, yeah.
So it's like, could that have been something that he did?
I mean, I guess at the just because we're talking about spiritual of God or any God, that's like 100% possible, right? Because with the assistance of the supernatural, anything's possible. Right. I think.
And then part of me also wonders with the underworld adaptations, if like, what do we do with our dead? For the most part, we bury them. So I think it makes sense that ancient cultures would assume they have their own world under there.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at like Viking burials or the way the Egyptians prepared their dead, they make them ready for the afterlife with things that they might need in a physical way. You know what I mean? Some cultures even have you take a helper along with you.
Oh, jeez.
Or a wife, I mean, they
and we even bury our dead to this day in the United States of America. For the most part, a lot of people choose cremation, but there's lots of graveyards.
No, but, I mean, it makes sense because most of the... Well, I say most of. We read about a lot of different cultures that believe in an underworld theory for afterlife purposes. the Abrahamic religions.
Yes.
Judaism doesn't actually have like an afterlife per se. However, somewhere in the Kabbalah, there does mention an inner earth world, something called Shalah or Shaloh. It's mentioned in the Wikipedia page, so I've got to read my Kabbalah and find out more about that.
And it really does make sense to me, because we bury our dead. It makes sense for people to think like we're putting them somewhere. We're putting them somewhere. They're not just rotting.
Yeah, even in the Christian theology, even in the days where they're literally not rotting because we pump them full of chemicals so that they don't rot, which is so wrong.
What do you think?
Sorry, guys.
What do you think people are going to see when they dig us up? I mean, I'm sure eventually we'll rot.
Eventually
but they'll see that it's not as progressed as it should be.
And not just that, but... Sorry, Amber's going to get in her own views for a second. I'm against the way that funerals are prepared, especially when it comes to burial. Because you pump a body, you empty out all the blood, and you throw it away. Which could nourish the earth. Sorry, not sorry.
No, it's totally true. It's fucked up.
Yeah.
To make us more comfortable. I'm sorry. Right. To make us more comfortable, because we're scared of rotting.
Right. And so then we pump that dead body full of poisonous chemicals.
Oh my God.
And then we plant it in our earth.
You are so right.
In a box that is not supposed to biodegrade easily. So we're literally polluting our planet with our dead, when the old way of burial is much more natural. The bones survive for a very long time. We find skeletons
we still
all
have
the
bones,
time.
Yeah.
But the flesh and the blood, they go back to the earth.
Oh my God.
I know it makes a lot of people uncomfortable to think about your body being consumed after you're dead, but
it's uncomfortable.
It's uncomfortable, but you're not gonna be here.
No.
It's just like, it's from the same point of organ donation, right?
Oh, absolutely.
People's, give your organs up so somebody else can have a longer life. Feed the earth. Don't poison the earth. That's my view. Sorry to make anybody uncomfortable.
No, it's absolutely true. And truth be told, when I thought about it not being natural, my only thought was, we're supposed to rot. What the fuck's happening? Never occurred to me that we're putting poison.
We're poisoning the earth. We are. And any animal that tries, once that box gives way to whatever comes in first,
oh my gosh,
all of those underworld critters, all the little bugs, maybe if there are little snakes that are subterranean, worms, everything that would try to feast upon that flesh as nature would have it, is going to die if they do consume of it.
Is this true? Is this like, is it...
formaldehyde, like if you paint your nails with formaldehyde, you can get sick. It cuts off the blood flow.
Oh my gosh.
If it gets in your blood system, it can kill you. Formaldehyde's literally a poison. And there are other chemicals that they use for embalming, and they may claim that it's safe for the earth, but they also claim that plastics are safe. They also claim that nuclear power plants
and the way that
safe.
the way...
Sorry guys, Amber's the crazy one on here.
No, I'm sorry. So... The way that the coffins close and they're sealed, they're like oxygen sealed. So can anything even get in there?
Eventually, right? And if not eventually, then that's probably even worse for the earth. It can't even feed off of that.
Well, you got to think, what does that do to the spirit?
Yeah.
No,
I agree. I fully, my kids
how long can our bodies...
not to have embalming done.
Well, how long can
I'm trying to convince my parents to not be embalmed.
How long can our bodies last without oxygen? Because the coffins are oxygen sealed. You need oxygen to decompose. You need animals and, worms and whatever you want to call them to decompose. We don't have blood, so we're pumped with the things that you said. How long would a body last? I mean, is that gross? Is that nasty for me? I'm how many years?
But it does last. Think about it. They exhume bodies for not medical reasons.
Forever. They last.
Criminal cases all the time. And usually there's it's not still they were buried yesterday, right?
It's not
but
fresh.
They don't go, oh, it's a vampire, they're still alive, but at the same time it's not like they've completely rotted away as they naturally.
Maybe they're yellow. Maybe they're green, like the green kids or something. But yeah. Oh my God, that brings back 1990s. The Dead. What's that called? fucking
Return of the Living Dead or
yes, with the green body, and he's like, and all the cats are like meow, and they're like cut in half because they're in his science.
Oh my god, that one! I love that one. Yeah, that's my favorite.
Me too, and that's what I thought. I was like, they could be green. I'm like, oh shit, that's a green ass zombie. I can feel myself rocked.
Yeah. Horror movies have a huge thing to do with some of my views on things. Like, let's be clear. Government, you guys mess with too much shit.
Oh god, every time we're flying.
Every time, I know. Whatever, they made zombies.
So there are some theories on a lighter topic, because we're discussing death and decay into the earth, which I guess is related, because I mean, we go into the earth, Underworld.
We do. And a lot of theories are that like we exist down there, like we continue to live a life of some sort.
What if that's where the transcendent comes in, because it's a fucking...
You move from your burial to
the fourth dimension, which is actually inside the earth. That'd be nuts. Be crazy. So on a lighter subject, we've got human creation. There are some stories that believe that people were created and came from within the earth.
Right, that they lived in societies within the earth, and then like they came out of the caves or the entrances from Hollow Earth to surface world, and now the ancestors of those people are who live here today. Like here in our real world today. Wow. Yeah, like there's a lot of like...
I could see that in the sense that like, okay, well, here we go. Being weird. Crazy Maddie. I feel like we're going to sound crazy in both of these episodes. Like absolutely nuts. Not saying I necessarily believe this, but... And don't correct me, science nerds. What if there were people during the...
You can message me, guys.
No! What if there were people during the dinosaur time? Again, that's where the science nerd is like, was there? That hid in caves and went deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and started a civilization in there because they couldn't survive because the asteroid hit.
Or they went deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper until they tunneled out of the inner earth and became, they're up here now.
Oh God, they just kept going.
Yeah.
Like literally dug a hole to China. Right? Or the North Pole, from the South Pole to the North Pole.
I don't know, there's also, like, there's so many different...
And the dinosaurs come back to play.
I like dinosaurs.
I like them too. I love them.
Jurassic Park was one of my favorites.
Oh, the new one looks
and like, I read that, like, kind of, in a way, Hollow Earth theory, it makes its way into the Jurassic Park writings and stuff. Not from the sense that they exist in the Hollow Earth, but that Hollow Earth theory plays into those kinds of creatures being able to exist.
Oh, absolutely. I've read theories where dinosaurs are within the earth, and that, again, similar to the human theory, like I said, they kind of hid in caves and adapted to that, but also the magical version that they're just in the center of the earth. I love that. But I definitely believe... Never mind.
Part of me goes, I want to believe in Hollow Earth theory.
Me too. That's our saying on this thing. I want to believe.
I want to believe. I do not choose to believe in Hollow Earth theory by any means. As compelling as I find Hollow Earth theory to be, whether it's the concave Hollow Earth theory where everything that we're looking at right now is within a shell and we exist within this ball, or that it's we live on the outside surface world as we so believe, and that there's either one livable space within the Hollow Earth or multiple concentric places within the Hollow Earth. I just don't...
How fragile would a Hollow Earth be? Like, if you really think about it, what if it's a bubble right in the middle of the...
That's what I was saying earlier. Like, what's around this thing? How safe are we if we live inside of it?
Right, exactly.
But also, like...
They're like, the sun is getting hotter. It's not the sun, it's the fucking core, because our atmosphere is going away. Because we're in the center of the earth. Oh my God. We have nowhere to go.
But also, like...
What if there's a flood?
If it's so fragile and hollow, like, can a comet just, like, pop it and then it shatters like an eggshell? Or is it so fragile? Like, how could it be hollow with gravity as... gravity is strong enough to create fucking planets, right? By, like, compounding matter together.
What if it has its own gravitational, like, thing? Because I had read, I don't know if this is the same, just because I looked up the core, what's in the core, which is the nickel and all that shit, due to the pressure of what's in the middle of the earth, the rock in the center, right next to the lava core, does not melt because the pressure keeps it from melting. The temperature doesn't really matter or affect it. So could it be a pressure thing?
Well, but that's where I'm going is, like, the outer core would collapse. Like, unless you manage to have... And we'll talk more about it next episode, I guess, but unless you manage to have, like, the right amount of pressure between that inner core that acts as the hollow earth sun and this outer shell that is the shell that the surface world lives upon, then you've got all this space in between those and then all the space outside. Gravity is in play on all of these things. How could you make gravity work just right where the inside of this and the center push against each other and push against the outer gravity without this shell collapsing under all that pressure? You know what I'm saying? Like if you hold an eggshell in your hand and squeeze, what happens to the eggshell? It cracks.
Good God.
So
my brain hurts.
That's where I have a problem with Hollow Earth theory, because if this was a shell, wouldn't it crack under all the pressure? Like, we're in space.
I get what you're saying.
So the only way I believe in, especially concave Hollow Earth theory, is if Atlas is holding us.
Right. I definitely believe Atlas is holding us.
Because, like, he'd hold us like a baby. He'd keep us safe.
Oh.
I don't know. So is there anything else we really wanted to cover in our first Hollow Earth episode?
I don't think so. I think we covered the basic science of the subject.
I mean, I personally love how, like, all these different religions have underworld.
Oh, absolutely.
Stuff. The Greeks and the Romans have underworlds. The Slavs have underworlds. The Celtic and the Nordic have underworld. Some Native American cultures that I read had underworlds.
Some Latino cultures.
Some Latino cultures. Buddhist.
Really?
Yes. Tibetan Buddhist, I think you said.
Oh, yes, I had seen that, yes.
Yeah. And one of the entrances for Hollow Earth that I read that the Nazis, which we'll get more into next episode, but I believe it said it was in the Himalayas, one of the entrances to Hollow Earth, in addition to the poles, is in, like, the Himalayas or something.
Oh, yeah, I had read that. I had read that too.
I couldn't remember if it was the Himalayas or not, but somewhere in, like, mountains or something over.
Yes.
Yeah, so really crazy, interesting stuff, guys. We're going to get more into the really fun stuff. We thought it would be interesting to split it up into, like, the religious-y stuff, because, like, the Christians, the Muslims, the Hellenic pantheon, the Slavic pantheon, the Nordic pantheon, the Celtic pantheon, they all have underworld theory, which really is Hollow Earth. And as witches, we like talking about the different pantheons. We like talking about how, historically speaking, where our different myths and stuff came from.
Oh, absolutely.
And so to have everybody, like, from, like, the get-go for the people that exist now, to have everybody's, like, ancestors, pretty much, have some kind of belief in a Hollow Earth, it's really kind of interesting to me.
It definitely
Whether
is.
I truck with Hollow Earth theory or not, I totally find it interesting that all these religions have their own underworld.
Adaptation,
which essentially is, Hollow Earth, so...
So if you're interested in the really I'm sorry, I did not mean to do
that. Oh, no, you're fine. I was just going to say, like, let us know what your thoughts are.
Yeah, I want to hear it.
Especially, like, as a religious person, if you are one, or if you know about different religions, like, what are your thoughts on the fact that we have all these different underworlds? Like, does that make you believe in Hollow Earth more? Does that just make you believe in an afterlife in general? Like, what are your thoughts on the religious connotations that go along with Hollow Earth theory?
Yes.
We're really curious.
And next episode, check us out on our next episode on Thursday.
It'll be fun.
We're going to be discussing the crazy theories, the fun, exciting theories with the dinosaurs we mentioned, and then we've got some Bigfoots and some reptilians.
Twilight skies.
Yes.
Falling through the hole in the earth, being pulled into the hole in the
aliens, all sorts of the really fun stuff.
Yeah, the really crazy Bigfoot. I couldn't find that much about reptilians, so you're going to have to tell me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically...
Yeah, you guys just
like and subscribe on YouTube if you haven't already. We've also got...
Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Breaker.
Follow us on Twitter at Classiest Witches, and we're also on Instagram, which is Talking Tarot.
Yes, we're very excited. So... thank you for coming to sit with us for a spell, and we will see you next time for some more hallowed talk.